Welcome to the channel, and today we have a guest. Well, he's a guest, but yeah, he's part of the family. Errol, he goes by Errol. I could call him Errol Blast
Or vibe.
or Vibe. He has a lot of.
I can't be known by vibe, guys. Imagine after 40 years showing this to my grandchildren, you're like
Grandpa vibes.
No.
Vibe to Errol Blast. Okay, I know we'll edit it out.
Let me start. Okay, yeah. So I think let's just get right on to it. Just be asking you guys a few questions, obviously, or maybe it will give a hint to what's really this conversation about, or yeah, just us having this conversation. So, just you and Ike, Errol, please share like your background on how you guys know each other. Since I've mentioned you are family, but probably people are asking family how and whatnot. Yeah.
Great question. Go ahead.
I hope you've got enough tape.
Had a great question. Yeah.
I hope she has enough battery or tape. Because hey, talking about our childhood, you fill up the whole. I used people still using cassettes. Is it cassette or memory stick? Yeah, it shows. I just gave off my age, man. Yeah?
Cassette.
SD card.
Yeah. No, definitely. I'm asking because I know it could be an episode on its own for how you guys know each other.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's an interesting question because I'm trying to think of how we're gonna break it down. You wanna start perhaps maybe that, and then I'll jump on the bandwagon.
Now I'm reckless. So at least I know you are polished. Yeah, but
the feeders. I think I can start the time part of the chocolate uniform. I think that'll be a great start.
Yeah, I think we met to introduce Matayama introduced us.
What year was this?
Number 96, I think.
Whew.
Yeah.
92, 91, some was it?
96.
Are you sure? What grade were you in 96?
90.
What grade did you guys meet? Let's start there.
Grade 3.
Yeah, then you must have been in 94.
94.
Somewhere there.
Yeah, I think you could be right. Yeah.
Ish. No, yeah, okay, it's cool. We'll somewhere there.
Mathematics.
So we just moved from Davidton going to Quantum, and then Matayama Batpana in the same sort of like vicinity. So they knew each other before we knew each other. So obviously when we came there, like, okay, sharp.
And the funny thing, we also had just moved from Davidton. So, yeah, funny coincidence, yeah?
So basically at some point you guys were going to meet each other regardless.
Yeah,
He just said to me he didn't know that.
No, on a real, I thought you've always stayed that term, but interesting point. I didn't know that.
After 30-something years.
No age revealing, kid.
Okay, let me stop. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so, and then I fill up on my blank memory wherever because I'm only remembering bits and bits. But I remember we organized go school, I think, go Lirend primary school.
Yeah.
Or how that came about. Do you have any memory of that?
Yeah, I think we went to the same school, Lirend Primary, and then obviously it was a decent school, and you know the parents, but that's when the Model C culture started coming in. So they were just pushing what that's a bit. So that's where the Liren thing came in. Yeah. Because I started rent for a year, then we moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of enterprising skills actually got to play. Because that year I think it defined a lot of character and quality. Even though the repercussions they were bad because I don't want to get into it, but yeah, it was an interesting journey because in order to beat the cold, we were gathering wood just to keep warm while Remets it takes.
Yeah, I would create fire in the morning.
How many kilometers was it from our house go the taxi spot?
Kilometer 2.
Yeah, I think give or take at 1.8 or kilometers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would create fire to keep warm.
Until taxi fit.
And then you know what fire does to the clothes again. You smell.
Musi.
Eric and Naga taxi everyone. Like everyone knows what are fit clean, yeah.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, I go the other primary school. Was it Siersort?
Yeah, and then later changed to Endicott Primary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just a normal childhood in there. But I tried out almost everything. Tried going to school barefoot, those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Tried out rugby. Yeah. Tried a hustle here and there.
Yeah. So what would you guys do like when little school? Just or the weekend, when it was the weekend, what would you guys get up to?
Great question.
That's a good question as well, yeah. That's a good question.
Stories that you're gonna tell your grandkids. Sorry,
Hey.
It was in phases, like vibe. Oh, sorry, I don't know which name to use. So I got after school, like Vibe said, it was an enterprising youth or young period. I remember we used to sell I used to sell the toilet paper. Do you remember? After school, would go house to house and sell toilet papers.
Yeah.
We would come up passing, would sell the snacks, would sell the quota. So it was a very interesting, busy youth for us. And obviously, Diski tried playing soccer there. Then there was but again, this thing out, hunting for birds. And then there was this other thing that we used to get trapped for, like Roroapeya in the field. So we would steal.
wow, what a word to use! You would steal.
Okay, not steal. We would borrow meat from the fridge and we'd go cook them in the field, like lamajita. So it was an interesting one.
Yeah, talk about Boko and Ramsey, Bakokas. Yeah, man.
Yeah. and then try the other stuff I won't mention.
I know which one.
I think there's nothing that we never did.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like literally.
We touched out on almost like everything. Like making guns out of plywood. Remember those? Yeah.
Okay.
Making wire cars using snuff containers as wheels. Going to collect that tree that we call the bonfire
every year.
New Year.
For what now?
The bomb. That was the Kasi Christmas tree.
Is it?
Yeah, boo.
Yeah. And so
playing soccer, and which we were good at, and nothing else. I wasn't that good, man. Make a kappa strong. No,
Yeah, I never lie. You were the one who was doing the dirty work. Make sure I fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously there was a phase, yeah. The It Boys as well.
Little body it boys.
I'm not saying were, but there was that phase as well.
And then if he's almost
Come on, driver.
Hey, Bomba Jaiva, you know, there was that phase as well.
yeah.
Eddie Katakata.
Kata kata ke.
That's good. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, no, you guys did everything.
Yeah, no, there was. So that's why it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very interesting youth.
We touched on almost everything. Yeah, we did everything that any other normal kid would do. And yeah,
So during those times, like obviously when you're young, you're like, no, when I grow up, I want to be like this. Why you are, you know, being a kid, you know, there's those, you see something like, oh, this could be an interesting career. What did you guys want to be at that age when you were young? Not before, like, so there in high school, before high school. Yeah, what did you guys want to be?
funny enough, I don't think growing up, we had any mentors or people that we aspired to be. Because it's only just a few things that are actually in your face. All that you wanted as a kid is just to have that bling or that car. But actually having something that's sustainable, I guess I can put it in a sense where information was lacking. Like, I doubt that we are surrounded by young doctors in our neighborhood, were we? Yeah,
No, because remember what we used to do? Would walk to town and just try and talk to the doctor and just get a understanding of how did they become doctors and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
So you guys wanted to be doctors, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for I think it was a good 2 or 3 months where we even did some research and stuff. Interviewed our family doctors, went to hospitals. Hey, man, it was a journey. It was a serious journey.
And then what changed?
And the funny thing, if you asked us what kind of doctors we wanted to be, we didn't even know. We just wanted to be doctors.
The white coat. Nah, I think like Vibe said, I think probably the biggest problem, Kasi, and even with the young professionals, is that mostly the people that we saw success from were the people that came to Kasi with the blingy, nice cars like Majita Fitar again. So we wanted the wrong things, and it's only when you grow older that you realize, or no, man, there's more to life than driving that fancy car. Ufitla kasi var, vibe ufitlile, madingo ufitlile. So, we did research. Wanted to be a doctor, but now I have a phobia for blood. No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Doctor couldn't. And then the closest thing to doctor was pharmacy. I wanted to be a pharmacist. But
and once upon a time, you wanted to pursue that, yeah?
Hey, remember, I almost went to Medunta. So there was that, but I just wanted something different and something a road less traveled. So yeah, I challenged myself with what I'm doing now, which I won't mention.
Yeah, and you, Errol, was it also the same? Why did you decide, hey, maybe doctor is not the one?
I think because of lack of information.
Yeah.
And all that. Because I think we're mostly not even getting secondary. We're getting that hand information, like in terms of career prospects and stuff. And I guess even our parents played a role in trying to mold us into certain fields, but they didn't have much knowledge of. So, which is in their effort and trying efforts, or sending us kodi kolong tselong, or they'll be able to educate us more and better more prospect. And then the doctor thing lingered for quite a lengthy period, I think, because even though information in the ritual, we are not deterred by whatever information about it. Hey, it's gonna take you guys 10 years. We're still looking forward to that 10 years. We're like, yeah, it's fine. Was it 10 or 7? I think it was 7 years.
7,
Yeah, 7
Yeah.
years. Yeah, so like we were not even phased by that 7 years. We just saw that 7 years is like 7 days. It's fine, we'll do it. Because my doctor journey, I think I hopped from. I think once upon a time wanted to be a gynecologist for some odd reason. Don't know why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, kind of grew out of that phase. I guess the technical part peaked in that sense, but that only hit when I was in secondary or somewhere there. Yeah, but yeah, fun times.
Okay. And then now into the careers that you guys chose when you were in high school. What was that? Was it into Lahore? You went to the career expos and then you found something that what was interesting, or you read it somewhere, or you saw someone in your high school that you knew someone when you got to high school who was in that career that you're in now, and maybe elaborate on what careers are you guys in?
Man, oh man, your questions. I'll start with this one.
Like I start.
No, I'll start. You can cement it.
Oh, okay. I thought to what get started.
Yeah, you are. 10 out of 10. Your questions. All right. I think the best thing that happened was our high school arena was split. Because had that not had happened, I don't think would be where we are now.
Yeah, no,
The
we're
influence
off
that we
ramping
had
too
on one
much.
another. But it was a positive influence. I don't know. Maybe Gabriel joined us, Mark Shuttleworth, Elon Musk there, because we had such a great camaraderie going up, trying to push one another in a positive way. So yeah, so I moved province, go high school, go Limpopo / Mpumalanga,
St. Gregory's.
and
Oh wow! Until you file it.
St. Listen to that. St. Gregory's.
Yeah.
man, St. Gregory's.
Hey, yeah, Lala. No, you doesn't
Yeah,
make it sound. St. Gregorious.
Yeah.
So high school there, it was different playing field, like different environment, different adjustment, a whole lot. And it was a very interesting 5 years, if I can put it in that respect.
Yeah.
Because even though information was still lacking, I was within a society of skolo se leng hore o tletse bana ba mathishere. So
Okay.
boastful individuals and aspiring in certain career fields and stuff. And so it dawned on me, hooray, which career prospect am I going to pursue and stuff. So I always had a destructive mind, so explosives kind of paved the way career field for me, because I was exposed to this experiment called the chemistry labs. Mixer, sodium, the pure water, and then ignite. So I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
So I want to make bombs. And then,
Yeah.
So, and then having to marry a career with those explosives, and then chemical engineering came into play, where I was actually quite good with the chemistry, organic, inorganic. Give me an equation, I'll balance it for you. So, and all of that. And funny enough, I think the only career expo we had was a class that was, a couple of guys that were a grade ahead of us.
Yeah.
On their first year, they saw the due diligence of actually coming to give us their first year experience.
Nice.
But there were only just 2 institutions. I think it was some college and it was actually both colleges and stuff. So no university or technical and whatever actually came through to give us more information on all of that. And yeah, so and then fast forward that past matric. It wasn't, my marks weren't that great, so I had to go and upgrade, spend another year, go Rosettenville at a college where I was upgrading there. I guess that's when it hammered onto me, okay, this technical field is a field that I think I want to pursue. And I think at that time I was in between universities because I wanted to go to UCT, somewhere far.
Yeah.
Gauteng. And I had Vets and UJ and Pretoria. Didn't like Pretoria that much for personal reasons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I never even applied there. And so Vets, they offered me something totally different. I think it was in the education sector. Snapped them, UJ. And that's where they accepted me for anything in engineering. But I wanted to do chemical, so chemical, the class was full, and then they told me, hey, mechanical is vacant, and then you can swap, because since all of the other engineering, like first year, that's the same, and then you can switch in the second semester. I was like, yeah, it's fine, because I was faced with 2 options, it's either electrical or mechanical, so I opted for mechanical, not knowing anything about mechanical. I'm sure if you ask any other kid who's starting, hey, what does a mechanical engineer do? What did I fix his car? So went into that, fell in love with mechanical, even though the first test I think I got like 17 or 21%. There was a whole lot of us, I think 9 of us, and we all flunked. One got 2%, the other got 0. Yeah, so that's when my love with mechanical engineering fell off from there. And the funny thing, we're in the same university, like where we detoured from high school, and then we meet again Harpergo University. Funny. So pursued that field in mechanical, where now I can proudly say, with a little bit of experience under my belt, that I'm a mechanical engineer. Booyah! Yeah. I'll hand it over to you, man.
I think for that it was an interesting one. Like you said, high school, we went our separate ways. You went to the Saint Gregorius, and then I stayed in the East End. We pushed our stuff there, but obviously we were sharing notes, and I think we were barely the prefects almost every year. And then matric, we were both head boys. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny enough, yes.
Yeah, so we were both the head boy, because we were trying, we were pushing ourselves differently. And then obviously after matric, I didn't have mine, it was girl, so I stayed home. And then I grew up, you were in Joburg, so obviously you were sharing notes about Josie Dancer, so maybe you must come to Joburg.
I was what?
You were sharing notes or a Josie Dancer, so so we're like, you know what, Josie. So I got into Joburg, but now I think I've always thought of, but I fell in love with chemistry. Like now I've always been biased. Kelo would tell you now if I like something, like Ngondwaka fun. Yeah. So now if I fall into one thing, my mind just sticks to it. So I've always been into chemistry. So I had to wait until something chemistry like would come. So there was this course which was very interesting that most people don't know about, but again, metallurgy, metallurgical engineering. So it was very interesting because it fused geology and chemical, and I was also interested in geology as well. Because now I got we didn't have the DSTV, Libo National Geographic, so it was very interesting that now you can learn about the Earth and stuff. So I went into that course, and obviously the course, I thought about it because, like I said, there's this friend of my brother who once came to visit my brother, Tamaga Alfa Romeo. And I asked about a mining engineer. I was like, no, that's the industry for me. If this guy can start with Alfa Romeo 147, then that's the industry for me. But I didn't want to go into mining at the time. So I just wanted something different. And because I love chemical. Because mining is more like mechanical. It's more about structural and so forth. So I went into metallurgy, and the rest is history.
And now you guys are here.
We here,
Yeah.
but we are what we call multi-potentialites. Like you can't really.
Yeah, you guys are very.
We're everywhere.
I don't know. It's like you have this career, but there's like you guys are. You are open-minded in that way, from what I've learned.
We're everywhere. We're interested in everything.
Yeah, but I think in a way it's a good thing. Some might see it as a bad thing, like you don't know what you want to do with your life, you know. But then again, it's good because you're able to have conversations about different things and enlighten others, or even just to learn from people of different careers or different walks of life. And so which is that's awesome.
Thank you.
Also, because now let's talk about what, because you guys have talked about wanting to do a podcast. It was just maybe like a passing thought, conversations alone. But you always came back to it. Why do you guys want to do a podcast?
Great question, Vibe. We can start.
Yeah. I was about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Why?
I think mainly it's just for information sharing and just trying to give the other youngins 2 or 3 steps ahead, and so that they don't have to struggle and navigate through this. I wouldn't call them hardships, call them lesson learned. But it's always good to have someone to hold your hand whenever you're about to embark on something. And so I believe this will be a great navigator in terms of having that mentor that you never had, not actually having to, but I believe mostly will be information sharing and
and like we mentioned, growing up, we struggled with mentorship. I see people that came to show off, and they were out of reach. It's not people you could just go and say, "Hey, Vibe, no, I like your car. How did you get it?" Type of thing. They would just pass, and so the idea is just to make those people accessible to the youth now. Through the podcast idea, where the youth can listen to them and study their blueprints and develop their own blueprints for success. So that is the idea that we having that. So, but you have a very good point that we've been talking about it and passing for a long time. But by the grace of God, hopefully one day it will come to fruition.
I think this is the start of it. If you guys are having a conversation now about it, and I guess once you speak about it in a public way, now you feel the need to actually push for it, because now someone else might be looking forward to that and saying, actually, this is what I'm looking for. I was saying, um, hopefully it will happen one day. So I'm saying to him that because now you've sort of you are publicly speaking about it, therefore it's more like you making in an indirect commitment to saying you're gonna do this thing, and someone out there might be saying, actually, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, this is what I've been looking for.
Sponsor.
Yeah. So even if it touches 1 or 2 or 3 people, it's good, because I believe in the chain link effect. Like, if I assist you today, you don't have to pay me back. If you assist someone else, and then that's how we actually build that chain link effect. So 1 or 2 people get touched by this podcast or this idea, it's even better.
Yeah.
Even better, yeah.
And I think the idea now is just to have guests and obviously talk about the success stories, and also give them an opportunity to just unwind and
Yeah.
just be themselves, because I think our industries are very demanding emotionally as well. So at least if you can just give them an opportunity to just tone down and enjoy being in that space, that is the thinking.
Okay. So if I'm getting it right, summing it up, is that your podcast is basically more of a mentoring or mentorship podcast to the young people who may not, because I think I agree with you guys saying when you're growing up you didn't really I also didn't have a mentor, or I didn't know the idea, what was that. I never heard of that until I was a bit older. But still, then where do you start to look for a mentor and all of that, you know? It's not easy to approach someone and say, can you please be my mentor? And they'll probably ask you, what do you want from me? But obviously in a genuine way, like, how would you like me to help you? You know, we don't know how to ask the right questions to ask someone to be your mentor. So what I'm getting is that your podcast would be of a mentorship, and also creating that access, you know, creating that platform for kids out there to look for people that they can ask to mentor them.
I think not mentorship per se, but just give
information.
Give a platform for people to listen to people who have made it through challenging times, and from there on, with the information that they'll get from those people, then they can establish the connection and so forth and so forth. Because I think mentorship will limited to one person. So now we just want to go as far as we can and just transfer as much knowledge as we have, and also show what we call successful people in a different way, that they're also human. They barata mapiano, barata shisanyama, you know, like a different vibe to it. So that's I mentioned vibe. but just to make it an enjoyable experience that also uplifts the people that we intend to touch eventually. So that's the eventual goal.
Anything.
I also think we'll be stretching the bandwidth on the technicality of it. Like, we'll not only be focusing on your household engineering faculties or fields. We can even take it as further as marine engineer or talking to pilot crash test engineer somewhere there, or like if anyone is aspiring in any other technical field, and then they give us the scope, we can research and then probably try to find someone who they can share more light on it and advise how to actually pursue it. That would be great because we'll be learning, they'll be learning, and then one kid out there can also one day come into this platform and then share this with other kids and stuff.
Okay, are you also really open to exploring other careers besides engineering? Because obviously engineering has a lot of careers, like you've said. So, but are you also open to having people who are not in engineering as well, that you guys know and want to share all these careers out there? Because like for me growing up in my family, it's mostly like health and mining, you know. Yeah, nurses and people. My uncles work in the mines, all of them mostly, you know. So are you willing to explore other than those ones that you guys, obviously engineering, like I said?
Good question, yeah. Excellent question. You pinned our characters quite well when you said we sort of like go everywhere. We dabble into almost like everything. So this is not a limiting career prospect.
Yeah.
We are willing to expand on other career paths, and the more the merrier. I believe you can also share a very, very interesting prospect on your career path because it's a very interesting one. And
like
it's a space where not a lot of young kids are actually dabbling or know more about. So it's another field worth pursuing as well.
Yeah, because I was actually thinking about it when she was saying that Dore actually would like to have you on our podcast as well when it goes live, because we want to move away from the conventional way of talking careers, where careers is just electrical engineering, and the reality is you go to Digela, you know, like I'm sure you still remember class electrical. It was like 5 times bigger than other classes, and the reality is that most people then finish and then they struggle with jobs. So if you cast the net out wide, then you give the people more options. You know, now there's data science, there's data engineering, there's data administration. You know, there's software again, body editing, video editing. It's a space that is starting to grow now. So those are the stuff that we'd like to also learn about with the guests that would love to touch base with. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And okay, anything else maybe you wanna or should? Because now the one question that I'm left with is it's gonna I guess put pressure on you guys. Basically, what I'm asking is when is your first
I think I know where you're heading with that question.
yeah, so, for you to make a commitment.
Before I let you ask that question,
yes.
I want to try culinary school or DJ. So
yeah, you know, it's one thing I've seen that a lot of guys they're interested in a lot of things, but because we just focusing on career, we don't really get into other spaces. There's this guy, it's a CEO, I think he's plus 50 years. He started DJing now.
Anything else maybe you wanna say, or you'll start having these conversations on your podcast? Anything you wanna say? And then the last question is that when can the people expect your first episode of the podcast, and does it have a name?
Yeah, those are good questions. Eh? I think we were scratching down names. What did you come up with? Again, remind me that.
I forgot. I forgot that name that you have. But it's something that is too.
Do with force, I think.
But something with synchronize, like desynchronize or
Yeah, something of
desynchronize
that.
mode.
Yeah, something mood. That's how bad I am in this
The name is still in the
commitment.
pipeline. So, as you can see, it's still a under construction concept. So having a committed date, because there's a lot of red tape that needs to go behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But we envision, when do we envision having the first episode premiering? Is it next year? Yeah, no, man. Thank you for the platform, and yeah, really appreciate it. Looking forward to this interesting journey.
Yeah, thanks for the platform. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be an amazing journey.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. We'll talk.
All right, cheers.
Sharp, bye.
Goodbye.